The power of taking the first step. Change. The very word can feel daunting. It's easy to dream about a better life, a healthier you, or thriving career. But when it comes to making those dreams real, we often hesitate. Why? Because the first step feels overwhelming, uncertain, or even impossible. But the truth, taking the first step is the most important step toward creating the change you desire. The first step is powerful, but when you're standing still, everything feels harder. Your doubts creep in. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if this doesn't work? These thoughts can paralyze you before you can even begin. But the moment you take the first step, no matter how small, you shift your focus from fear to action. Think of the first step as a spark. It's not a full fire, but it's a beginning. It's what transforms intention into motion. One of the biggest roadblocks to taking the first step is the belief that you need everything to be perfect before you start. But waiting for perfection is just another form of procrastination. The truth is, you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start, and the path will reveal itself as you go. No one who's achieved greatness began with a perfect plan. Every entrepreneur, athlete, artist, or leader started with an imperfect, often messy first step. But what sets them apart was their willingness to begin. Your first step doesn't have to be monumental. Want to get healthier? Start with a 10-minute walk. Dream of writing a book? Write the first sentence. Hoping for a career change? Update your resume. Reach out to someone in the field you admire. These small actions may not seem significant at first, but they build momentum, and momentum is the key. Once you've taken the first step, the second feels easier, then the third, and before you know it, you're further along than you ever thought possible. Taking the first step can feel scary, but it pushes you into the unknown. But consider this: every great journey begins with uncertainty, and the unknown isn't your enemy, it's your opportunity. Embrace it and trust that every step you take brings you closer to clarity and growth. If you're waiting for the perfect time, it will never come. If you're hoping to feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is your willingness to take the first step. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Because the first step isn't just important, it's everything. It's the moment you stop dreaming and start doing. It's the moment you say, I can, and then prove it. Today, ask yourself, what's one small step I can take right now? Then take it, and watch as your life begins to transform one step at a time. Here's a story. Take the first step, the bridge builder. In a small village divided by a wide river, though they could see one another, they rarely interacted because the river was deep and treacherous, with no safe way to cross. Over time, misunderstandings grew between the two sides, and they began to resent each other. One day, a young boy named Darren decided to change things. Why don't we build a bridge? He asked the elders. They laughed at him. It's impossible, they said. The river's too wide and the current is too strong. It's better to stay on our side where it's safe. But Darren couldn't shake the idea. He gathered scraps of wood, old rope, and whatever tools he could find. At first, the villagers ignored him. Then they mocked him. You're wasting your time, they shouted. The bridge will never hold. On the other side of the river, a girl named Mia watched Darren's effort with curiosity. One day, she shouted across the water, "What are you doing?" "Building a bridge," Darren shouted back. "Come and help me." Mia hesitated. Her own villagers had warned her not to trust the people across the river. But something about Darren's determination stirred her heart. The next morning, she waded into the shallow edge of the river and started gathering materials from her side. The two worked tirelessly, shouting plans to each other across the river. Over time, the others noticed their dedication. First, a few curious villagers joined in, then more and more until both sides were working together to complete the bridge. After months of hard work, the day finally came. The bridge stood tall and strong, connecting the two sides for the first time in history. When Darren and Mia met in the middle, they shook hands and the villagers cheered. The bridge not only united two sides physically, but also broke the walls of misunderstanding and distrust that had divided them for a long time. Trade flourished, friendships blossomed, and the villagers realized they were stronger together than apart. Years later, when Darren and Mia were asked how they managed to build a bridge, their answer was simple. Someone just had to take the first step. The story of the bridge became a legend in the village, a reminder that with courage, cooperation, and persistence, and taking the first step, even the wildest rivers can be crossed. What's your first step you need to take to accomplish your dreams and goals? Take the first step. Make it happen. I'm Chris Fantastic Powell. Thank you for listening.
For books, ebooks, or audiobooks